And there's a lot of plates left if they counted.
You save
I think I need to go that
by turning it back.
I know, but
Chelsea, a little pickle.
Napkin girl. Hard girl.
Orange will plates out.
It was like seven.
Yes. I got it.
What's going on? Is there like flying food over here?
Meat's falling out.
Why can't the people that come do this job? You came. They eat it. They're the ones who eat it. They should be the ones who have to work to have it. Here. Napkin, napkin. Napkin, napkin, card. I'll take that job.
what are you guys switching jobs?
Yes.
Is that you?
So this is what they call this is the tar iron. And then they have so there's actually another piece of it. I believe he talked to you.
Vendors. The chocolate and red fields are on the south side of Hershey Park Drive, along with the car park. Welcome to Dream Cars and Parts Store of Hershey 2004. All four fields are filled with must-have parts for your dream car. Please be sure to visit all our...
Oh, really? 80,000.
You wouldn't think I could. They had some vision.
That side panel comes down over there. It's the side entrance to the bed. Or the tailgate.
That's better than 150, I think. And the dash is in there.
What year is this blue over here?
Then I get home. Jeans. You gotta fence me out.
This is the one you'd really like to have.
Nice to see you too.
67.
I try. They had 6 minutes.
There's one ugly car.
There it is, babe. Don't you wish we could own it? Someday.
It's baby blue too, so.
Baby blue. You heard that? Jeff said it. Excellent condition.
Okey dokey. Bye.
What mineral? There's Riviera. That's the 200.
Groundwork before you get going. Right.
56 Chrysler.
I'll tell you what.
25,000 for a 72. Scott, your truck's worth 25,000.
How much does this one cost?
Pontiac, convertible. Oh, Pontiac in 1911 or 41 DeSoto. Sun was in my eyes, I guess. DeSoto. Packard.
Can we get Amanda out of the house and will you come over and borrow me?
Side door for the bed. The engine's actually back here.
What you have to do.
1952 city record.
Tell you, Frank, I can lend you like 400 or 500. Hold it.
Has to be 3 feet. Yeah.
Started out with 1 room, and now they built this up.
I know. At the oh yeah.
Was this guy here yesterday?
Yeah, that's right.
I guess
Then you said, excuse me, that's Wednesday.
yeah, we've been here since
Well, he was describing the car race. Man, his friend. We put him on there and we made a deal right there. And he called the bank, or I gave the bank number, and they transferred the funds. A little bit. So here come and got it. 2 weeks later, he called me, just tickled to death. I said, my wife's down there looking at it. I said,
oh my gosh, that must have been a younger wife. Probably wasn't his first one.
I don't know.
Transportation, get it back. You know, you gotta throw that in.
Yeah.
He'd probably pay about $8 grand for it.
I can't take it.
Can't you? I'm at the Hershey shop. Big one. They're bringing my car up tomorrow for the show. I don't have the shop. So, the kids are with my wife. They went to the well.
Woody. Let's call it a 57 and go see. I just thought that was the greatest car. I used to go to the dealer showroom and look at that. 57.
He'd like to have me on there.
Oh, ambulance. 1956 Hudson.
Chocolate Field, spaces C3F 5 through 7. The winning ticket will be drawn Saturday at 2:30 on Showbar Field. Enter the stadium through the west side. Race car condition run is taking.
It looks like that one you like that one here. 66 or 67? That guy said 67.
The Chocolate Field Tramway. This vehicle must be moved immediately.
And my wife and I buy and sell.
Red light radio is red.
The money to the bank about noon until he drove through the traffic.
What is it? What's the asking price?
16.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
50.
Here in Atlantic City.
What's that say? Year. 57?
71.
That's for those pictures. This is 71. That is a 56 Lincoln. It didn't have his fins.
enough money out of that because they cash it.
That's curved. What is that? Ties right in with that. Look at that bumper. Never heard of an Oakland.
It's just absolutely beautiful.
1935 Chevy. There's a sharp truck.
I had to take a picture of this.
Does he have a good frame for his or what? No, the other frame. He has a wheel wells, don't he? Did we buy the wheel wells? Yeah,
We bought the fenders. We bought 4 fiberglass fenders. Oh, there's a real.
How did you this deal?
The other side of Grandma Barney is Dave's husband. So that's Cole's grandma, grandpa. Cameron's great-grandma, grandpa, and great-great-grandma. Wow, that's so cool. Cameron is he's built just like her.
So, hey, we go back to her, she was surprised.
Finish detailing that truck, this little thing. Great truck. Just don't get any trouble either.
3100 series. Is that like coming up?
Sure. Sitting if you want. Just don't step on the running boards. Look for everything else, but you won't find rush. You're just wasting your time. It's never been filled, this truck. Even the radio still works. You put 4 tires on it the other day. The other ones are all dried out, way too long. See, in California it's good, but you know what? They're all crap. I'm going from Universal. $10 for 4. Great, never touch it. Original look. Windows, look. Coloring, look.
Talking about this truck over here.
They did a terrible job. I would have, now you use 2-step on it. I would repaint it with 2-step. Clear it. Get the color right and then clear it. Even the oak was the original oak in there. All we did was clean it.
Oye, ¿tú no vienes? Vale, vale.
Vamos al banco, tu tío la llama para enseñar el coche.
I can see that there, like.
Yeah, now this little box.
Oh, nice.
Cotton Club.
Wow, that's cool, Albie. That's cool.
Everybody's fine, nobody believes it. That's not looking.
Well, temperature spikes.
Vehicle with Georgia registration A151532. Space.
Another 56 plug. I haven't seen a 55. Whose car was the one? Oh, I saw him here.
I don't have a 50. Try, here's a 55 back. No, you're next to it. Right. It looks like it. There's a lot of work.
Northside features the white and blue field and blue field north. All four, the chocolate and red fields are on the south.
I'm in. I know I can win that one. It's the only drag race I can win.
Bob would be like touching the do not touch. Oh, that's hilarious.
White on that.
Let's check out the back of place.
His body guy was just
Yeah.
yes, about the same.
It's an automatic. Ounce tooth in it too, Scott.
Is that nice,
Excuse me? Was it completely original how it was?
The steering wheel's different on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Looks like a Cadillac steering wheel. I never cared for them too much.
Bill, he needs the company. Now he just lost. And they have different magazines. They call us and asking us about prices of trucks. What are the realistic numbers?
Like him.
The paint went underneath the paper and up on his door.
Oh, really?
Where?
Trim. Remember one up on your trim?
Oh, sorry.
66 Dodge.
Oh, shucks. Well, it's 15.
That's nice.
I was just thinking about
For 16 grand it does.
not going home myself.
I'm always there. No, I was home about you.
Yeah, I'll do her.
Good luck.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you sell it. I drove it down. It drives great.
I thought Corey had one of these.
55.
Oh, what year's this?
They probably won't.
And that other truck was a 65, this is a, or 55, this is a 56. The hood ornament's different, and this is above the crease line. 1956.
Yeah, it should be liquid silver.
56.
'66 Ford Mustang. Tickets are available at the Library Museum tent on the Chocolate Field in spaces C.
Freaking guy ain't even here, and he's going to ask him. Instead of asking me about my car, he's asking some guy that's not even here. That's how nutty.
Here's a Mustang, and it's the first one I ever saw that has a roll bar, which they used to say was a pretty good idea.
I think
65
like Bob's trying to get someone when he's not on.
I definitely don't want to give me a pen.
Whatever trick. Or doing.
Sponsored by
Original unrestored 63,000.
Sponsored by NBA, American Bank.
Spot comes alive.
Be sure to visit the auction in the Giant Center starting at 5 p.m. today. Admission is free, and the vehicles can be seen in the tents next to the Giant Center. Please be sure to visit the auction in the Giant Center. Will not be allowed to exit the car corral until 3 p.m.
But that's not working.
This car, by the way, the walk return on how we are.
Today's last
Ford. Plymouth, I believe. Let's call it a 36 model until we get there. That's a Plymouth. Next on the year. T.D. Baker truck.
FBI investigation area with these spots. It may be like 15 more minutes. Like
49.
it'll be easier with the spots. So do that, and then I'll call you. I'm gonna go see him at 1, and then we'll go from there. But it's like an empty. to this guy a week ago. What's that? Oh, you got enough space right there.
Ford Ranchero. '56 Dodge. Correction, '56 Plymouth.
Yeah, there's the handle right there.
Famous cigar with a ring around it.
Midnight Bronze? No kidding.
You believe that? That's a lot of washing to get it really looking good, huh?
That's what I'm saying, though.
That's pretty neat.
Small? Patty?
I don't know what this is.
And you know, it's kind of the old, you know, the lower style.
Is that a brand new
Really
King
about-
5? Yeah. Okay, see, the windows almost make it look like.
Oh, that's right. It was a piece.
Produce wagon.
No, I worked at Body
Yeah.
I seen it yesterday.
That one's a repro. This is original.
This is the original.
Can't tell the difference. I still have that one on mine.
Frank, can you get a picture of that spring?
Yes, sir.
You really gonna be original white wall tires?
Frankie walked in. So when did I give him the car?
Touch the front spring, internal transmission.
You guys cannot stand there on this.
The biggest problem is
California. They drive it.
I like the 48s too. 48s, my wife makes it. Hey, good luck.
These guys know when it's good trucks.
I'd like to see a 48. See any 48s? No. It's only a couple bars over the grill.
I like that.
Is that like a material? Little subtle crack. I like that.
You know,
He said there's a 38 down You'll never see this again. Excuse me.
Come on.
20, 30 guys. They want to get it for nothing. They can't get it for nothing. No, you got you.
Here, right here, the lid.
All of them. Every single one of them. You wet sand it, you get rid of it, it comes back again. I got rid of this for wet sand. You see, this wasn't repainted. Well, wet sand it for a week and a half. For wet sand. You know why? Nothing was rusty on it. No matter what you checked, there's no rust. This one too. This is Luke. That's a my cousin's
real thing. Better than nothing.
I already registered this.
Still got it? And then next morning I had to go back to it. So where's Church? Next morning I went there. Where's Church? What's my name? You know what?
It's like another piece.
Yeah.
I guess when he got the new one, his chrome, they wanted the old. He was saving $100.
Yeah.
All right. Can't believe it.
Este es la camioneta. En español.
Oh, 1952 Ford. I think the Studebaker was superior. Superior in looks, anyway.
Take it off.
Year is this International? 58.
Studebaker took over.
That's what Steve, that's like.
I want to go up to the Giant Stadium and call there. I'll take care of it.
All of it?
All right?
Lego.
Okay.
I haven't found anybody yet. If not, we'll talk to Dave. Yeah.
Be moved immediately. Robert Kessler, Chevy Suburban, Pennsylvania registration.
Gordon things, huh?
It was built for promotional purposes only.
Flash Gordon comes in the car, right?
Price of the Humvee there. We're still.
Yeah, that's why we stayed over.
Well, that would be a question to answer.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta remember, you got to
$1,000. Pay 80,000, you give them 8,000.
Still flying or is he?
86 Ford.
That's it, Dad. It's got an animal on it.
It doesn't say it on it.
Oh, it's ugly, but you don't see many.
a hit and miss engine or something. So we call them a deer rack today. Frank.
Deer rack, original deer rack then. Huh? Put your deer right there. This is the Beulah Presbyterian Chapel, which was the original Beulah Presbyterian Church. Here in the Churchill suburb of Pittsburgh. And behind it is the Beulah Cemetery, where my great-great-great-great-grandfather is buried, and at least one of his sons, Henry, and Henry's wife, and apparently Henry's grandson. Right through these gates here. So we're going to go in there and see those sites. And on up here is the new Beulah Presbyterian Church. It's the new building right up there. Looks like we'll have to go up there. It looks like it sits pretty high over up in the area. And this is extremely close to the Parkway East. This Beulah Chapel is an historical building. It's recorded in a historical plaque up here. This particular building was erected in 1837. You can see the church was organized in 1784, excuse me. From what I understand on the website, these bricks were actually made here on the site, and then the church was constructed. See, it is the National Register of Historical Places. If you're traveling into Pittsburgh from the east, you usually come into Pittsburgh on the Parkway East, which is Route 22 and I-376. And that's the road right over there. And I traveled that for years and never realized I was this close to the graveyard of my great-great-grandfather. Great-great-great-great, 4 greats grandfather. And this is the intersection of right here, Route 30. with that 22 and 376. I believe this road right here is Beulah Road. It goes down around here. These cars sitting over here are on what they call Churchill Road. I could have those roads mixed up for local ones, but no, the route numbers are right. It's a pretty sight, which was gorgeous back when this was originally a wilderness. See the old graveyard behind. Big sycamores in the yard. This is October the 14th, 2004. Leaves are just starting to change now. This is the Beulah Road. And across the road here, across Beulah Road, is another section cemetery. Now there doesn't seem to be very many stones there, just the ones in these upper areas. There's a lot of graveyard left. There's the Parkway East. That's a big area back in there. That's bigger than the old graveyard behind the church. There's actually some stones right along the edge of the road down here. You can't see them from this point. This is the road that goes into the cemetery, but we've got it chained off back there. There's really no advantage to driving in. It makes a little loop down in there. That says 1773. If I remember right, that's before the church was established. Let's go take a look. The church was organized in 84. So the cemetery was actually here before the church was organized. Now the Dinsmore record book says that Robert Dinsmore moved here in 1800 or 1801 with 9 children. One of those children was Thomas, and he was my great-great-great-grandfather, which moved down into Greene County with a younger brother, Amos. But one brother, Henry, according to the record books here, is buried here. Now, according to the map, this is his site, but I don't see a stone for Henry. These stones are pretty hard to read, but I know they don't say Henry. I'm thinking that this, the best I can read it, this is Henry's wife Sarah, who was Sarah Ross, and it's just really hard to see here at Sarah's information on here. I can make out a Dinsmore. I can make out Henry Dinsmore here. Here's Henry Dinsmore. So this had to be Sarah Ross, Henry's wife. And then they had one daughter, Sarah. And this has to be her stone. And if memory serves me right, she married a Matthew Henning. And I can make out Sarah. And I'm thinking this says Matthew Henning. And then it says Henry and Sarah Dinsmore. I'm pretty sure I can read another Dinsmore there. Now, I can't read when she was born, but I've studied that date a long time, and it looks like she died in 1849. That sure looks like a 49 to me. Now, here's a 49 over on this little stone. It's real legible, and it looks just like it. There's a legible 49, and here's Sarah Henning's 49. Now the record book says she died in 1856, so I don't know. That sure doesn't look like a 56. And then they had one child, and this has got to be the stone of that, I think. It's hard to read. It looks like it says Master somebody. And it probably says son of Matthew and Sarah. I'm almost sure that would be Matthew and Sarah Henning. And the birth date sure looks like 1846. And of course the death is 1849, September 18th. That looks like I studied that a long time too. It looks like March, M-A-R. I'm going to call it March. And he was born in 1846. The records book said he died young, or the child died young. But I don't see a stone down there, Henry. And in this cemetery, there's a lot of stones that are not legible. And so far the church hasn't been able to tell me if Robert Dinsmore is buried here, and if so, where. Hopefully the Archives Committee is working on it. But according to the Dinsmore record book, his tomb is in the Beulah Cemetery, which is where this is. That stands to reason he'd be in here somewhere. Parkway East out of Pittsburgh. Easy to get off and on to. Now that I've located it, it's an easy place to find. It's really pretty in here, especially with these color leaves now. Right in this upper corner of the graveyard is a buckeye tree. And this is the first time I've ever seen this up close and personal. There's a hole in that buckeye tree. And a lot of times, there he is, the squirrel's in there. And he doesn't like you bothering. He gets pretty aggressive. I've never seen a squirrel. I've seen him make nests in the trees, but I never saw one come out of a hole where he lived. That's pretty cool. There's that road that goes down there. As you can see, it's blocked off, but that's no big deal. There's a little guy. Come on out and see me. Come out and see me, buddy. Come on. Come on. Attaboy. How you doing? How you doing? You got a pretty nice house here. Yeah. It's starting to get a little dark here, but we'll try to get a panoramic view from a higher point of this graveyard. Again, we're in the Churchill suburb of Pittsburgh. Down over that bank is a newer section. Much newer stones. Not real new. And way beyond there it drops down over and there's some newer stones in there. And again, not real new, but newer than up in here. And there's the Dinsmore Henning plot. You can see it's really close to the chapel and the gate over there. There's the gate. So you just come straight to the gate. And a couple of plots and there it is. I see there's now candles that come on inside the chapel windows. That's pretty. That is a nice building. There's a squirrel tree right there. A couple unique stones in here. These look like above ground caskets. I'm sure they're just stones, but and here's a couple more inside this fenced in area over here with a taller stone with it. And not too far away from the Dinsmore hanging stones. It's Sarah and the little one, the child. There's the bigger one. And this cemetery has something I've never seen in any other cemetery. It's got two stones made of iron. And that's pretty unique in my mind. James Chafferty, or Chalfont, excuse me. And it's not James, it's Jane. They're sure easy to read. December 24th, 1870, that died years. Jane Chalfont. And William Gore. May 3rd, 1886, age 57. I guess that's the date they died, and what age. They're not too bad for that old age, stones. 1870, I don't know if the stone was made at that point in time. There's two iron stones. Again, not too far behind the chapel. And real close to that Dinsmore henning plot. There's the gate. Parkway East. Before it gets too dark, we'll try to get a look from this lower edge of the cemetery. There's the upper area where we were at. I guess this is a little bit bigger than I was describing. It's a big cemetery. Not real big, but it's not little. Start from the chapel again. It drops down. There's that Beulah Road going right past it. I'd say there's actually stones that go right down to the edge of the road there. Around the bank. There's older stones there now. Right over in that area it drops down. And there's newer ones. Even low and into the ground. And over there, where the road loops on that bank, is much newer ones. There's that section down over the bank with the newer ones. Say they're ground level ones. And there's that little road over there that loops. And on that bank over there is the newer ones too. That would be a newer one there. Probably in the 50s like. I read them the other day, I kind of forget. Pretty chapel. Nice to go inside sometime. There's those stones right down along the road. They're right on the edge. try something here. Put the spotlight on it from the camera. It's pretty obvious that says Sarah. It's pretty obvious to me after you study it, that says Henry Dinsmore. The rest, it's not readable. Sarah Henry Dinsmore. It's just not there. That would have been Ross, Sarah Ross over here before, wife of Henry. This is their daughter Sarah, who married Matthew Henning. Again, the obvious Sarah at the top. Matthew Henning is pretty readable. And I'm thinking it probably says Henry and Sarah Dinsmore. I know I can read that Dinsmore right in there. Again, I can't get the birth date. And that date of this sure looks like 49 to me. It sure looks like 49. And up here where the birth date is, I can't get that. It looks, in some ways it looks like 1818, but I don't know. I'll be guessing. There you can see. You can see Dinsmore there. M-O-R-E. And I think it starts out H-E-N-R-Y and Sarah in the middle. And up here, Henning at the end is real readable. Matthews, you can get the M. The middle of this is where the hard part is to read. So I'm sure that's the daughter. And it sure looks like she died in 49. And here's her mother, wife of Henry. You can get Dinsmore out of that pretty good. When you run your fingers in there, it spells it out real well for Henry and Dinsmore. But the dates are not there. So then Sarah and Matthew had a child. It looks like it was a boy, because this looks like it says master. But I can't get the last part of it. It looks like an L in there, but I don't know. And looks like that would be Matthew, probably son of Matthew, and Sarah. Again, the middle part's gone, but you can get the last part of a word. And then there's the last name, Henning. And his birth date. It sure looks like, I studied that a long time, and it looks to me like that would be M-A-R for March. 1846. Died, and then this is the most obvious of anything here. September 18th, 1849. You see that 9 there? It's real obvious. Look at that. And look at this 49 on his mother's side. That just, I can't read 56 in there. That's just 49. Records say 56, but no way. Is that 56? 49? 49.
doing well for yourself, and you are.
This is October 2004. It's Friday the 22nd, and this is the day that Elizabeth Ann Slater will be sworn in as a lawyer. We're going to make an attempt to watch that right now on the computer.
On behalf of the entire court,
Thank
it's a
you.
privilege and an honor to welcome.
Congratulations, Elizabeth.
The successful applicants of the bar exam: Craig Robert Lavender, Kevin Edward Lawson, Pamela Suzanne Lederer, Susan Linnell Lochran, Christopher Joseph Adams, James Douglas McCarthy, Megan Colleen McNally, Kelly Renee Menser Stevens, Stacy Lynn Richards Minig, Teresa Ann Post, Matthew David Rack, Andrea Arazu Ramazan Jackson, Brian Michael Ruth, John George Safarnis Jr., Levine Shepard, and Timothy Sean Smith. These ladies and gentlemen have satisfied all of the requirements of this court to practice law.
You can come down here and take photos.
Support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia. That you will honestly yourselves in the practice of law and to the best of your ability execute your office of attorney at law, so help you God. Congratulations.
And well.
My age, if I get down, I can't get back up.
And we'd like to ask everyone, please return to your seats. We are just about to conclude proceedings here, but I would like to ask you, when we conclude the proceedings and once the court has left the room and you exit the rear doors, if all of you would please, when you exit, immediately go to the right and exit down the stairs to your right, or the elevator on your right, because we have another very large group that will be coming in from the left. So thank you very much. Congratulations again. Best wishes on great success in your chosen profession. That will conclude.
This is the best looking group, it's the last one.
You are our fourth group of new lawyers this morning. We have a lot of new lawyers in West Virginia.
Harold, you old guys are going to have to watch out because there's a bunch more out there after you.
Ready to turn it over to them. Well, good morning. Someone on our staff has told you folks this morning that you are free to move around the courtroom to make photographs as you like. And let me urge you that that is in fact the case, and we'd like for you to be relaxed and to move anywhere you want in the courtroom to make photographs. That means you can come down in front of the bench if you like, and you don't have to stoop or squat. Some of you have no business. You're like me. You have no business squatting. Just come down and stand in front of the bench and make any photographs you want at any time, and be at your leisure, please. This is ceremonial this morning, so we relax the rules a little bit for ceremonial considerations. Good morning again. As Chief Justice of the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the court this afternoon. On behalf of each of the other four justices, I congratulate each of you for achieving the honor of joining the West Virginia Bar. This achievement represents years of hard work and undergraduate and law school. And you now know all, we talked once about, maybe on the last day before we admit you, having a little quiz on the rule against perpetuities and the rule in Shelley's case. But we're not going to do that. Nobody up here could grade it, so.
To the turtle story.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to use the turtle story.
So we congratulate not only you, but also all of those folks who supported you throughout the process of college and law school and becoming a lawyer, and who probably paid for it. So you should be very proud of your accomplishment, and you should be very proud and grateful to the folks who supported you throughout the process. In southern West Virginia, we have a little saying about turtle on a fence post. If you find a turtle on a fence post, you can think a lot of things about it. But the one thing you can be sure of is that that turtle didn't get on that fence post by himself. And none of you got where you are this afternoon by yourself. So today we recognize and honor not only your achievement, but we recognize and honor the family members and friends and spouses and others who supported you throughout those 7 long, hard years. So today is a day of celebration, and reflect on the past. It is also a day to think about your goals for your future as a lawyer. There are many practice areas in the legal profession. Some of you may not even practice law. I've read that 1/3 of the people with law degrees never practice law. Many of you will use your law degree for other pursuits. So for just a moment, let's talk about you as a lawyer and as a member of the West Virginia State Bar. You will interact as a lawyer with our court system in many, many ways. Some of those ways you anticipate now, some of them are probably ways you couldn't ever anticipate. And one of the things I want to mention to you this morning, although this is a happy day, and everybody in this room is frowning. Why are you all so? This is a happy day. Smile. You should feel really good today. But I want to talk about some of the problems that we see lawyers having when things don't go well in the practice of the profession. This is a cautionary aside. The license to practice law gives you the right to represent the interests of other people. That's really what we do. And so there's the first and foremost rule for success in the law is to put the interests of your client above all else, including your own interests. You should also be loyal to your clients. I told this morning to one of the groups a story about an old West Mingo County lawyer named J. Brooks Lawson Sr., who's now deceased. And when you came there to practice law, it was Brooks Lawson who made the speech to the new young lawyers that I'm making to you this morning. This is Brooks' speech, to tell you the truth. Brooks is dead and gone to the big courtroom in the sky now. But he was a wonderful man, and I told this story that he used to tell us, the new young lawyers, and he would say, you should put your client's interests above all else, be loyal to your client's interest. And he would tell the story about representing a man, and he'd tell you the man's name, I don't recall his name, who had been charged and convicted of murder. Brooks represented him in front of a jury in Mingo County. The man was convicted and sentenced to death by hanging. And Brooks fought the case on appeal and fought hard for him, but lost throughout. And when it came time for the man to be hanged, Brooks thought it was his duty to his client to go to Moundsville to watch the execution, to be a witness to his client's execution. And he did, and the man was executed. And I didn't know the rest of the story until this morning. And Brooks' grandson is a very prominent lawyer here now in Charleston. And he said that when I told the story when he was here this morning, and he said, the rest of the story is this: when my grandfather died and we were going through his effects, we found the blindfold that the executed man had worn. My grandfather kept it from the late 20s, all those years. So that's how you should treat the interests of your clients. Keep your clients fully informed about everything you're doing for them. You can be the best lawyer in the world and be doing just a superb job for your clients. Doesn't mean a thing if you don't tell them about it. Copy them on every letter, let them know about every phone call, let them know about the reverses as well as the advantages. Keep your clients informed. That's probably the most common area where lawyers get in trouble. Don't do business with your clients. They're your clients, not your business partners. Don't ever take money from your clients' trust accounts, not your money. Don't loan money to your clients. Don't borrow money from your clients. Don't ever lie to other lawyers. Don't ever lie to judges. Pay your bills. If you have an alcohol, drug, or gambling problem, get help from the bar. Don't wait and show up in court drunk and have some judge have to report you to the bar. And remember throughout the practice of law that the law is one of the learned professions. And remember, when you practice, to do so with civility and courtesy to all of the folks involved in the litigation process with you. To the lawyer on the other side, whether he's civil or not, or she is civil or not, you should still be civil and courteous. Civility used to be common in our profession in litigation, and it is not today, and it's, hopefully you new young lawyers will make improvements in that area and will restore civility at all levels to the practice of law. Civility at its base consideration really is just one thing, and that's just good manners. And you learned those at your mother's skirt tail, so you might as well use them in the practice of law. Perhaps you will soon have an oral argument before the Supreme Court of Appeals. Maybe you'll represent a client going through a mean divorce or a tough custody battle, and you'll gain firsthand knowledge of our new family court system. Maybe you'll serve on one of our Supreme Court committees. Perhaps one day you will become a family court judge or a circuit judge or a Supreme Court justice. All 5 of us, 30 or 40 years ago, sat in this room, exactly where you're sitting, in the same chairs you all are sitting in today, and most of us never dreamed we'd ever be a judge or a Supreme Court justice. Some of you will become judges. And out of a class this large, 1 or 2 of you are almost certain to sit on the Supreme Court someday. When you are sworn in a few minutes as members of the West Virginia State Bar, it is a time for reflection and celebration, and really it's a time for joy. It's a time to count your blessings and rest on your laurels. We want you to know that we share your joy, and we recognize those who contributed to the process and helped you get where you are today, and we are very proud of you and the efforts made by those who care about you. Today is a good day also to think about your goals as a lawyer. No matter what area of the law you choose or how you choose to practice, no matter what life brings, and it'll bring bumps, it brings bumps for everybody. Always keep in mind the oath that you will take today. As you take the oath today, I urge you to listen to the words as you take them, and as you take the oath, and pay attention to the words and mean them, and remember them when you get out and practice in the real world. Be ethical when you practice, and in connection with the practice and the life you're going to lead in your communities, and you're all going to be, lawyers are all big shots. Wherever you live, you're going to be highly respected. You're going to do well. Most of you are going to make lots of money. You're going to live real high on the hog, as we say in the southern part of the state. But as you go along and practice law and live a nice, pleasant life, which most of you will, I hope you will keep in mind that you are a very privileged member of a very elite group. The privilege to practice law in the greatest nation on earth and the greatest legal system ever devised by man is truly a high honor and privilege. And although you've worked hard to get here, it's still a gift, and we should all do something to help pay a little of that back. And so as you practice law and do well in the communities where you choose to live, I hope that you will find a way to do good for others. Whatever you like to do to contribute to your communities, it's important to do those things. You won't be happy if you don't. Some of you may like participate in scouting or Little League or or help build houses and Habitat for Humanity, which is what this guy does. So whatever you want to do from the outside to pay back, you really need to find something and make a large effort to do that, and you'll be well rewarded, and you'll be happy with your choice. And we all hope here on the court that you will be happy with your choice to become a lawyer. We all, each of us individually, sincerely and deeply wish you great success in the practice of your chosen profession. And you may call the motion docket.
Elizabeth Harder presenting Jennifer Lee Howdy, Matthew Ryan Rawlings, Joel Emil Simons, Amanda McDonald Wisely.
May it please the court, good afternoon. My name is Beth Harder, and it is my privilege this afternoon, on behalf of all the lawyers of Bowles Rice, McDavid, Graff, and Love, to introduce to you these 4 candidates for admission to the West Virginia State Bar. Going in the order they were called, alphabetical, starting directly on my left is, I'd like to introduce to you Jennifer Dowdy. Jennifer graduated with a bachelor's in history from West Virginia State. She was a presidential scholar there.
Are you using the title Reverend? No? You know, if I was going to really give, this is the last group, so if I was going to give good advice to people about really how to practice law, there's 2 or 3 things I'd tell you from this end of 30-some years in the profession. Here are some real tips for the practice of law, if you're really going to practice and do litigation. When you go wherever you're going to go to practice, go in the circuit clerk's office and befriend the deputy clerks. The women who look, the greatest set of form books on the planet is in the circuit clerk's office. And you befriend those, they're usually really smart women who work in there who know a lot more about practicing law than you do, I promise. And they can be immensely helpful to you. And the same thing in the county court clerk's offices. If you're going to do any kind of wills or deeds, the greatest form books in the world are lining the walls in those rooms. And then if you're going to do practice in front of juries and you want to really be persuasive, and you want to win, watch Sunday morning television. And I say that seriously. Watch some of the ministers on Sunday morning television. I'll give you a name or 2. It's the greatest school on earth for persuasion. Those folks like Parsley out of Columbus, Ohio, they're fascinating to watch, and they will teach you how to talk to juries. So those are non-judicial tips for the practice of law. Those are good hints. Thank you all. Congratulations, and we welcome you to the bar.
Thank you, Justice.
Mike Farrell presenting Catherine Grace Franklin and Richard Wallace Weston.
Mr. Chief Justice.
Charles R. Bailey presenting Tammy Lee Bowles Raines and Kristen Ann Vickers. And Summers presenting Brandon Morrison Shepard. Sean R. Turak presenting Elizabeth A. Slater.
May it please the Honorable Justices of the Supreme Court of Appeals, good afternoon. My name is Sean Turak, and it is with great privilege that I present and introduce to you Ms. Elizabeth Slater. Libby earned her Bachelor of Science in Political Science in 1996 from the American University in Washington, D.C. Thereafter, she entered the legal profession and began her career as a paralegal. It wasn't long before Libby returned to her roots in the Ohio Valley and enrolled in the night program at Duquesne University School of Law, where she earned her Juris Doctorate earlier this year in the spring. Libby clerked for the Ohio County Prosecutor's Office in the year of 2002, but more importantly and very special to me, Libby served as a student assistant prosecutor during the summer of 2003, and I had the great privilege to serve as her supervising attorney under the Supreme Court rules in the Ohio County Prosecutor's Office. Currently, Libby is the Judicial Law Clerk to the Honorable Arthur M. Recht, Judge of the First Judicial Circuit in West Virginia. She has successfully passed all the requirements and the bar examination and is fit for the practice of law. As her former mentor, her current colleague, and her friend, I am very touched to have been asked to accompany her today and stand before you and move for her admissions. So it is with great privilege that I move this honorable report for the admission of Elizabeth Slater to the practice of law in the fine State Bar of West Virginia.
The motion, of course, will be granted, and on behalf of the entire court, we are pleased to welcome you to the practice of law in West Virginia.
Congratulations, Leah.
William W. Smith presenting Rocky
awesome.
Arthur Smith. Guy Busey presenting Danny Ray Snuffer Jr., successful applicant of the bar examination, and Kevin William Ryan for admission by reciprocity, having been admitted in Virginia.
Thank you.
George Isaac Spinable II presenting George Isaac Spinable III. Tanya A. Hunt presenting Christina Suzanne Turek.
And she was the valedictorian of our class. She beat me out for that one, that's fine. She also attended West Virginia University College.
Sounds like it's fine.
There's no bitterness. She also attended West Virginia University College of Law, where she has just recently graduated and had the honor of being in the Order of the Barristers. Christina is the daughter of Vicki Rabowski, the wife of Michael Terrick, mother of Ashley Terrick, and the granddaughter of Lawrence and Joanne Antill, all of whom are present today. As Christina has met all requirements, I proudly move for her admittance into the West Virginia State Bar.
The motion will be granted, and on behalf of the entire Supreme Court, we welcome you to the practice of law in West Virginia.
James M. Casey presenting Jeremy Todd Vickers.
Good to see you, Jim. Good to see you.
Joseph A. Wallace presenting John Joseph Wallace IV. Thomas G. Wilson presenting Eric Michael Wilson. Kieran Miller presenting Jason Clarence Workman. Laura Rozier presenting numerous motions for admission.
Nicholas Forrest Colvin, Jeremiah Lee Gardner, Jason Andrew Rosenberger, James Michael Showalter, Heidi A. Smith, Mary Ann Stewart, Peter Siegfried Vig, Amanda Jean Waters, Jennifer Nicole Williams, Yvette Aaron Williams, Aaron Lee Winter, Dennis Eric Wisely, and Elizabeth Claire Exodus. James Theodore Carney, who has been admitted to practice in Pennsylvania, Joseph Friedman, who has been admitted to practice in Pennsylvania, Peter Mark Gannett, who has been admitted to practice in Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Maryland, and Missouri, John Brian Krall, who has been admitted to practice in Virginia, Carrie Dean Lindsay, who has been admitted to practice in Virginia, Richard Glenn Solomon, who has been admitted to practice in Washington, D.C., Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Virginia, Christopher David Stofko, who has been admitted to practice in Pennsylvania, John Alfred Taylor, who has been admitted to practice in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, and Richard Cribbs Teal, who has been admitted to practice in Washington, D.C., and Georgia. These ladies and gentlemen have satisfied all of the requirements of this court to practice law in the state of West Virginia. Therefore, I move that they be licensed to practice in this state and be admitted to practice before this honorable court.
Each of the respective motions will be granted, and each of the applicants are welcomed. And we, on behalf of the entire court, we would like to welcome each of you to the practice of law in West Virginia. Please remain standing where you are for photographs. And the folks who have been admitted earlier, those of you who still need to take the oath, would you also come forward and stand, please, at council table so that you may likewise be administered the oath of office. You all don't have to squat down. Do whatever you like, please.
stuff down, because they won't be able to get back.
I'm the same way. These work going down, but not coming up.
That last group of reciprocity is always easier to identify. They look older.
But not much.
They're easy to identify.
Please raise your right hand and hold the picture.
Yeah.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia, that you will honestly demean yourself in the practice of law, and to the best of your ability, execute your office as attorney at law, so help you God? I do. Congratulations.
You may be seated. And while we're waiting for everyone to be seated, I would like to make one or two announcements, please. You've probably looked around the room today, and you've seen some little people in the room today. And at this time, I would like to recognize some of the kids who are here. We have 4 students here today from Sacred Heart Grade School, and they're here today as part of their civics lesson. And those folks are, I'm going to ask, would you please stand up? If you're Kelly, David, Jessica, and Russell. Would you all stand up? Don't be shy. Yeah. And just keep standing. And any other young people in the room today who are here with applicants, would all the other young people please stand? Yeah. And he can stand. He can stand too. And give these folks a hand for coming. Thank you. We appreciate your coming. We welcome all of the applicants to the bar. We wish you great success. We wish you great success in your lives, and particularly in the practice of your profession. So welcome to the bar, and that will conclude these proceedings.
sit in the chair and have your dad take a picture, or whoever's here? You all have a camera? No, okay. Well, you can sit. Come on now. Oh, my God. Yeah.
And Robin has sticky notes, and highlighters and pens and pencils.
Just don't push any buttons.
And he picks up.
Here you go.
She marks. That's like there's a lot. And look at everyone else's.
Y'all need to take a brochure back to your class or something like that, show what you did here. Let me get you something. Just a minute.
But we didn't have to do this. I don't think I just wanted to say hi to Alex and law school with you.
You?
David, I like to go. Man, it feels much relaxing. I'm going to sit here. You know, how about I sit in the chair? Here's the chair. Please note that the consumer is tinted. Like, what? He sent me.
simultaneous.
Yet. I know you're ready to go, but we gotta wait till everybody gets here. Did you color your bag? All right. You can still do that. You can still watch the video for the 5th time. This was last year's video. Some of you were in it.
excuse us, Frank.
Yeah. Well, some of the kids came at 20 till, so they probably watched the video 10 times. That was 40 minutes ago. All right, we got 5 more minutes yet, and then we're going to go to our first activity. Any children who are in the green group, the 2-year-olds, they should be going upstairs already to the room right above us here. So if we have any 2-year-olds, they can go upstairs. Anybody who signed up to help with that purpose room for the carnival? Okay, let's have everybody in the red group, everybody with red stickers. I would like you to go over